Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Coach's Corner. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Thank you, all our vets, for our service out there. We appreciate you. I have the pleasure of having a really, really good guest this weekend. Boxing fans, you'll know him from his career. We got Peter Hurricane McNeeley with us today, coming all the way from Massachusetts. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you for having me. Hurricane Peter McNeeley.
Hurricane Peter McNeeley.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy you made it down. And, for the fight fans out there, a lot of people are going to remember you from the Mike Tyson fight. But, as we were talking off air a little bit, you had an outstanding career. 47 professional wins, 7 losses, 36 KOs.
Correct.
I mean, that's a hell of a career, Peter, right there.
Hey,
I'm
not complaining.
Yeah, look, 3 shy from 50.
Oh,
3 shy from 50 wins.
Well, 54 pro fights.
Yeah, 54 pro fights, but 3 shy from 50 wins. So, we're really excited to have you down here today and kind of want to talk about, your career, yourself, what you're doing now. You didn't have a big amateur career. 21, right?
That was it. 21.
So, like I ask everybody else, what brought you to boxing? How did you end up? And you're coming out of the Brockton area with a lot of top names and everything. How do you end up in the gym?
I lived in Medfield, Mass.
Okay.
most of my life.
Okay.
But as far back as 7, 8 years old, in the attic, found my father.
You're a third-generation fighter.
Yes. Found my father, Tom McNeeley Jr., on the cover of Sports Illustrated and the cover of Ring Magazine.
Wow.
Ring Magazine was 1960, and Sports Illustrated was 1961, shortly before he fought for the heavyweight championship world against Floyd Patterson.
So you lived it growing up. Dad was in the game already, and you're coming along, so it was a natural for you to be into the world of boxing.
Since I found those magazines, I fell in love with boxing.
Right. Now, was your dad, when you were starting out, was he training you or did he send you off to somebody else at that point?
My one thing is for sure, my father never pushed me to box. I had to push him.
Do you think he was testing you?
No, it's just he knows. He knew that boxing is the type of sport that you yourself have to want it. You can't do it with your father. You can't do it with anybody.
Right.
You yourself have to want it. And you have to do the work that's required.
Right.
It's one-on-one competition.
No, I know, and I was at an amateur show last night, and I was talking about this with the ringside physician about, what makes boxing different and why. I said, well, boxing exposes you as a person, okay? It's going to expose what you're like because it's only you. It's only you to train. You're going to know if you didn't train properly. You can't lie to yourself. It's going to expose you what your character's like when things aren't going the right way, when you're down, when you're up. So, it kind of shows what you are as a person. And I think that's what gravitates me to boxing.
That is a fact.
And I think we don't see that in other sports today. And we don't see it in this generation because, there's not – boxing is hard. Whether you're fighting professionally or as an amateur, boxing is hard.
No question.
So, and in our generation today, these kids, they don't want to be challenged like that. They don't want to. They don't want to do their road work. They don't want to go to the gym or whatever the case may be. You know, I'm sure as a young man, your workouts weren't easy the first couple of times in the gym.
No, not at all.
So, what gym in Mass was your first gym?
Well, the actual first one I went to was in Natick,
Okay.
which was real close to Medfield.
Mm-hmm.
But then it closed in the South Natick Firehouse. Little,
Right, small little spot, just would.
I mean, the fire station was little.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's still there today.
Right.
But then that gym ended up moving down to Framingham next door.
Okay.
And I ended up, helping my own self with training, my own training. I would go to Framingham and train there also,
Right.
instead of driving all the way, from Medfield to Whitman
Right.
and Brockton.
So you were
Brockton
training
and
there.
Whitman,
Who was the first guy that noticed you besides your dad? Who was? You're in the gym.
Well, it took, till 1990. My first amateur fight was in July of '87.
Mm-hmm.
A loss. Then I came back with a quick win all the way in Pennsylvania. Amateur fight.
Mm-hmm.
And myself and my good friend Brad DeAndrea, he was the captain of the club boxing team at Westfield State College.
Okay.
So, I was training at the Petronelli gym by then.
Mm-hmm.
And I got
people for the Petronelli gym is where
it was
Marvin
it was the
Hagler.
home of Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
You so
and
you're
many other pros.
fighters that we don't want to disrespect anybody that was in that gym at that time because I was never there, but I know what the pedigree that came out of that gym and the training that came out of that gym.
Hard.
Right.
Good friend of mine still today, who fought Vinny Vecchione. Got him a fight with Roberto Duran.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Mike Culbert, who lives in West Bridgewater now. He's originally from Brockton. Technically, he was born in Ireland, so he got the paperwork and he was able to fight on amateur cards in Ireland.
Yeah, because he had
or in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a really, really good boxer.
Right. So now you're putting in work there.
Well, today I help coach boxing at Intens with a Z. Intens Boxing Club, 150 Franklin Street, Lawrence, Mass.
Lawrence, Mass. Yeah. But getting back to when
owned and run by Jose Nino Madera, my good friend.
Okay.
And
shout out to those guys for you.
He's the head coach.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
But now as a young man, getting back to you when you're in the Petronelli gym, when is it, you had 21 amateur fights. At some point, someone's saying to you, or you're saying to yourself, are you thinking of going pro at that point? Or
so at that point, no. But
how did that come about?
I was coming out of the Petronelli gym one. It was a early evening, and say like 7:00, and the man approached me, said, "My name's Vinny Vecchione. I played semi-pro football with your Uncle Brian.
Okay.
And of course, I knew your father from boxing." He said, "I want you to come right next door to Whitman, spar with a pro I have. Sure, no problem. But he grabs my hand, shakes my hand, $40 cash. Now, no disrespect to the Petrelli brothers, because they're not with us anymore, but they wouldn't give you a nickel.
Right.
And spar hard against pros.
Yeah. You were just in the gym being a horse for everybody.
Yeah. Yes. But anyway, so I went down and I sparred with Poirier. Poirier was making a comeback after like 15 years out of the game. And he saw George Foreman do his comeback.
Yeah. So he figured,
Yeah. So, and he called his old coach, trainer, manager, Vinny McNeeley. So I went down and I sparred with him at the South Shore Boxing Club in Whitman, which Cliff Pippen still owns and runs. But Josh, his son Josh, who I watched grow up, now he's big as a house.
Yeah.
You can hear him on my films from the 90s when he was a kid. You can hear him cheering me on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Vinny said to Cliff, he's the best young heavyweight prospect in this area. And Cliff said, really? He goes, you watch.
Now, is that the first time you're hearing that? You're hearing?
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
I didn't hear it.
Okay.
But, Vinny told me years later.
Right.
So, I ended up, the Petrelli brothers ended up getting into a fight with each other. They split. One was Goody was running in the evening. Pat was running in the afternoons. And I'm at the time, I'm still in college.
Right.
At Bridgewater State College, right next to Brockton. But I know it's now Bridgewater State University. But, and boxing got me my diploma. If I didn't box, I never would have graduated.
Right. Now, I mean, you're going to school too, and you're fighting, and
right.
How is that working for you at that point?
So when I met Billy McNeeley, it was the summertime. School wasn't in. So, but with the Petrelli brothers split, Vinny said, look, he goes, number one, it's never a good situation up there. Number two, it's an even worse situation out with them.
Split up.
Yeah. So come with us down there, And I did. And Mike Colbert came with, whether it was before or right at the same time. Mike came with.
Right. Followed you down.
But, and I'm sorry to say this, and I hate to say this, because it's what happens. But, like they say, the state of the fight game goes as the heavyweights go.
Still to this day.
And so I stayed, I had my last amateur fight with Vinny, second round KO win. And we had 54 pro fights together.
Yeah.
I won 47, I lost 7, and I had 36 KOs.
Yeah. Well, so after your last amateur fight, was the conversation starting now about you going pro? Or were you thinking about? Were you thinking about it?
No, at the time.
Not at the time. You're not.
But Vinny said to me, he said, Peter, what do you want to do? You want to go fight your heart and your family name on the line for a trophy? And that was the turn pro speech.
Right.
And Vinny said, you know where I keep my trophies? I said, no, Vinny, where? He said, in my wallet.
Yeah. So now you're in the mix here. Now you're right. You're training for your first pro fight.
Yeah. And so my first pro fight was on Nickerson football field at Boston University. Back then, you could see it from the Mass Michael. Look over your right, you can see the football.
It was there.
No, Boston University banned football from because of CTE.
But now they're putting a boxing event.
No, this is August 23rd, 1991.
Yeah.
But, CTE, what is that? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously, I've got the paperwork to prove it.
Yeah, we could talk about that a little bit more and as we get into it here.
Yes.
But now you take your first pro fight, you start to gain momentum, actually. You're moving.
I knocked the guy out quick, first round knockout, Van Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
Second pro fight, fought in Worcester on a championship undercard. Which back then it was the Worcester Centrum. I don't know what they call it today, but the arena is still there.
Okay.
It's not called the Worcester Centrum.
It's not the hockey arena, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
They can't,
Yeah.
An arena that size, they can put down ice or,
But now you're gaining momentum.
Yeah, yes.
And you're fighting more frequently.
Well,
how are you at this time feeling about being in the pro game? How are you adjusting?
I'm enjoying it. I hated headgear, number one.
Right. So you're really starting to come along, and your training is getting better at this point?
Training harder.
Training every day. You're not working at this point, correct? Are you out of school or?
Well, out of school, little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
School was completely done. Yeah, I worked different jobs.
Right.
Because boxing
is
wasn't covering it.
No.
Unless you're a main event fighter.
Yeah, and even then, sometimes it's, you guys
Still
are
tough.
Still tough.
Unless you're a heavyweight.
Unless you're heavyweight.
But, yes, it's not all diamonds and roses.
No.
Pro boxer.
No, it definitely isn't. And, you probably know that more than a lot of fighters out there, and can speak from experience. So as you're moving up the ranks here, what are you thinking? Are you thinking like, look, I want to have a big fight.
Right,
I could be a contender.
My fifth pro fight wound up, Tommy Morrison put the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Foxwoods Casino here in Connecticut. Back then, it was so small.
Yeah.
They cleared out the bingo hall to set up a ring. Well, now the place is huge.
Yeah.
But I knocked out a guy. I knocked him down twice in the first round. Right at the end of the first round, I started, I hit him.
Yeah.
Referee jumped in and stopped it.
So Morrison was the main event. With that was probably an ESPN fight.
Yes.
In those
Correct.
days. So now your people are starting.
So that's my fifth pro fight.
Yeah, people are starting to say, okay, let's take a look at this heavyweight and see where.
Well, people are still a little skeptical.
Okay. When does that start to change?
With each win.
Yeah.
With each win, changed a little bit more positive.
Now you got to be getting confident in the ring at this point. You're dropping people. You're on a winning streak. Your confidence level has got to be up.
Correct. I never had a doubt myself because I was the one doing it.
Yeah. But during this time, right, and, people who know you're a colorful individual, right, Peter? Right? So, you got some colorful stories and stuff that how in the beginning stages of your career, when you're out of the ring, how are you that colorful individual that later on in the career came, or are you focused on boxing at that point? Because your skills.
When the train, fight, relapse.
Right.
Train, fight, use alcohol and cocaine.
So when you're training for the fight, you're spot on.
Yes.
You're spot on.
Yes.
But then, and look, it's hard because you're fighting for a fight. What were your camps? 8 weeks, 10 weeks?
Well, all right. To get to Mike Tyson, we have 37 fights in 44 months. Figure that out.
So you're just going.
The fight, sometimes we have fight 2 fights a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go a month without a fight.
Yeah.
But
So you're not out of the gym much.
No.
Different breed today. Different, you're not going to do that with heavyweights today or any fighters today. But meanwhile, you're training, you're coming back, and then running around or doing whatever you're doing out there.
But finally, Vinny McNeeley says to me, all right, we got to fight somewhere. We have to fight out of New England.
Right.
And, most of my fights were in Masters.
Yeah, well, they were building you. You were a local favorite.
Yes.
You're a local guy.
Yes.
So that made sense right off the rip. But now it's time to challenge you.
Well, you go on the road.
Yeah, you went on the road.
And, all right, so 1993 had 10 fights in 1 year.
Wow. You're fighting almost once a month.
1992 and 93 were 10 fight years.
And all right, let me ask you this now. How is that affecting you physically at that time? I mean, how are you recovering? You're fighting so much. You're coming back into the gym.
I didn't care.
What, physically, injuries, body? Yeah.
All right. Like they used to say, they said to us, I played back in the days of Medfield Junior High School. If you were big enough and good enough, Paul McNeeley boys did it. 8th grade football, 8th to 9th grade on the freshman team, 10th, 11th, 12th, JV and varsity.
Yeah.
So 5 years of high school football for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, the old shell helmets.
Yeah.
No bike safety helmets.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain trauma began.
Right. Now, your dad is a fighter. Did he have the similar situation, or
Dad loved boxing, but he loved football.
Yeah.
My Uncle Brian and my father both got free ride, well, because of my father. But they both got free rides to Michigan State football.
Oh, wow.
Now, at that time, talking, late 1950s, there was varsity football at Michigan State.
Big deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal at the time.
Yeah. So a guy got killed at Ohio State, the collegiate tournament. Don't ask me how, why, name, but most of the colleges that had boxing
Stopped it.
stopped.
Yeah, we're starting to see a comeback with that, though, at the college level.
So my father got so upset, he quit school and turned pro.
Mm.
And even the legendary Jimmy Hoffa took my father out to lunch, wanted to, be his manager.
Right.
Other organized crime figures out of Philadelphia did, too. That was what, my grandfather, Tom McNeeley Sr., was pissed that Dad could go, but that he's hearing what's going on.
Yeah.
He says, Tom, I'm sorry, come home. Let's do this right. And my father's first pro boxing manager was Peter Fuller, big blue blood money out of Massachusetts. And he was my godfather. That's how I got my name, first name Peter.
Yeah. So, how many pro fights did your dad have?
Oh, God. Let's see. 60.
Man.
Or more.
And he fought Floyd Patterson.
Yep. But he also fought 2 light heavyweight world champions, but they stepped up to heavyweight
Okay.
to fight him. Willie Pastrano and Jose Torres.
Oh, Jose Diaz.
No. People got to remember and realize both Patterson and Torres were custom auto fighters.
Yeah. Yes, they were.
And then I fought another custom auto fighter by the name of Mike Tyson.
Do you think the fact that you got the Tyson fight was a connection with your family, or was it? And let's fast track a little bit here to that. As how has that fight come about for you?
Well, first of all, myself, Vinny, and Cliff Pippen, we had already been under contract, promotional contract. We signed a promotional contract with Don King Promotions.
Okay.
DKP.
Yeah.
In June of '94.
So the year before
Tyson.
you fought Mike, you signed with Don King. Right, you fought Mike in 1995.
14 months before.
14
so Mike
months.
was in jail.
Yeah.
And at one point, we almost had, I was in way up in upstate New York with a young woman, and Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Oliver McCall. So Benny calls me and says, Peter, I don't mean to interrupt what's going on, but get home quick. I drove back home, and he takes me out to it was September. It was warm.
Mm-hmm.
It was early September. And he says, I want you to remember where you were. When you hear me tell you, you're going to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Meaning against Oliver McCall. I said, great, let's do it. So, now at this point, my father, my mom and dad split up way back when I was like 12 years old. But Dad was always in myself, my three brothers' lives, always.
Right.
So Vinny, myself, and my father, and Clef Pippin, owner of Social Work, we all flew into New York City with the Rainbow Room,
Mm-hmm.
and where Don King and McCall had a big
Press conference going on.
Because not only was McCall bringing home the heavyweight title belt, but bringing Don King back into the heavyweight picture.
Mm-hmm.
And so we signed a contract that day to fight McCall for the heavyweight championship. And so next thing I know, press conference at my mom's house in Medfield. And it started,
Now it's getting real.
Yeah, well, people calling,
Yeah.
from all over the world, reporters, and it was crazy. So, but only less than 10 days later, a week later, the WBC said no. Because I was ranked 11th in the world or 12th in the world. Their laws say you have to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which, at the time, I'm like, wham. But Vinny's like, Peter, don't worry about it. We're gonna get something, And sure enough, 14 months later, May 1995, we signed a contract to
fight Mike Tyson. Yeah. Let me ask you this one before we get into the Mike Tyson thing, okay? Would you have beat McCall?
I don't know.
I know you don't know, but at that time you signed a fight. Would you?
I'm not ever saying that.
Right.
I'm not ever saying that.
Did you feel confident about the fight? Did you feel confident taking the fight with Oliver McCall?
Like if you watch any of my fights on TV, I go right at it.
Yep.
I mean, I had 25 first-round knockouts.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's not a mistake.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Like, people used to say, was that your plan to go right at Mike Tyson? I said, that's how I did every fight.
Yeah.
That's why I planned every fight.
Yeah.
Why? and I tell this to the young amateurs, go in the ring warm, like you're so sweated up that your body thinks it's the third round. Because then you'll fight better. You will.
Yeah, your body doesn't have to take time to loosen up and get warm.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely a good thing. So now you got Tyson. What were your thoughts? Now you get the fight, you go back. Now you got to train. And I know you're saying, look, I'm going to fight. You know his reputation.
Again.
You know his reputation. What's training like for the Mike Tyson fight?
He has a fought in almost 4 years.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm going to jump right on him.
Hey, listen, I respect that. But once you signed the fight, when you went back to you, Vinny, and your team, went back and said, what was the training like for that fight?
Well,
walk me through that.
We see him as always, training hard. But we had this guy, already a few months before. But we had him, professional fighter and professional sparring partner, Gary Lean. I don't know what Gary Lean is saying, but I've got DVDs of now. Vinny was real sharp.
Right.
Real sharp. And he would track the weather in the city before we'd get there. He would try to get every advantage he could for us. So he said, we're going to have a training camp in Lafayette, Louisiana, in the middle of July.
Yeah, hot and humid.
And humid.
Yeah.
Which, to this day, I love it hot and humid.
Yeah, I mean, as a fighter, you got to look.
Listen.
But how the heck did he find? And I know where Lafayette, Louisiana is. I actually played college ball down there.
Did you?
Yes. So I know what it's like. Okay. How the hell did the guy from Massachusetts, Vinny, find Lafayette?
Because Bo Williford lived down there.
Okay.
Now Bo Williford had a gym, and we're supposed to train in the gym. But there was something happened at the gym. Water pipe broke or a fire. I can't remember. But
you sure it wasn't Don King got there before you?
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because we adapt. We're like the Marines. We improvise. We adapt.
Yeah.
So Bo set up the ring in his driveway at his home. Outdoors. Sparring in the heat and humidity. Loved it.
How long were you down there for that camp?
We're supposed to be there 14 days. Vinny, like the 10th day, he said, Peter, that's it. We're good. You're in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Running every morning, eating good, great. Sparring every late afternoon. I still got the DVD of me and Gary Freight Train Lane.
Yeah.
Sparring. In that outdoors in the heat.
Yeah.
And people are coming, neighbors, people stop, drive by, stop, and what's going on there?
Yeah.
Reporters are coming over. Doesn't matter where I go, it's still going to be colorful.
Listen, that's a heavyweight. They got to be colorful, right? That's what people want to see, right? We can go back. Ali was a very colorful man as a heavyweight.
Do you think?
Forget it. He set the bar for everybody.
One of the greatest pictures I have It's Muhammad Ali. Throwing
Throwing a right hand over it?
I'm sorry, it was a jab.
Yeah.
Jab, I got me on film with Ali. I mean, I got me on myself with Ali on DVD with him. I mean, it was a big charity fight. It was only my fourth pro fight.
Mm-hmm.
But it was at Copley Square in Boston, Park Plaza Hotel. It was Ali's birthday, a couple days before, a couple days after, and all night he's like this. In a line at his tail that will not end, an endless line. And he's like this.
Signing autographs.
So when the fight's over, I jump out of it to go over to him. And a friend of mine had a camera. And he's, now it was back then it was a VHS tape.
Yeah, you look like a big reporter.
Yeah. And now actually my red dad transferred it to DVD for me.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
But the point is, I get over Ali, and I got my robe on. I think the gloves were still on me too. I can't. Anyways, so Ali's pointing. He's pointing at my father, because my father sparred with him way back when he was Cassius Clay.
Yeah.
Like Parkinson's he was already screwed up, bro, but it never affected his memory. Never affected his memory. And so he rose my body. He started, for him, at that time, Ali, that was showing respect to my father.
Yeah.
Also, my father was one of the first boxing commissioners in the country that said he would grant Ali a license to fight when he took a stand against going to Vietnam.
Yeah, when he was out of the military.
And
so where was your dad a commissioner? Massachusetts, yeah.
Where else?
Yeah.
So, but I'm young now. I'm like 14 with him. I found the newspaper articles in our attic in Medfield. I says, why, Dad? And my father said, because he was not convicted of anything. They had no right to keep him from doing what he does to put food on his family's, feed his family.
Yeah.
And he said, my father said, part of the Constitution of the United States. And my father was correct.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean,
so that was the other thing Ali never got,
that he stood up for him.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some. See, I didn't realize the history of your dad.
Yeah.
And your grandparents. I did not. You have some really, really great boxing history there. The way you grew up into the sport, and the people that you were around, and I don't think that people really outside of the boxing world realize how entrenched in the sport that you were.
It's a great word. Great word.
Yeah, you like that word, huh?
You're pretty colorful too.
Yeah, not too bad, right? That's 4 years of college for you. That's,
I gave you 5.
Yeah. But, I think people see you for the Tyson fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right,
I mean, people see you and they say, okay, so getting back to the fight now, you leave Louisiana, you're ready to go to the fight.
Well, we came back to Mass.
Mm-hmm.
did what we had to do in Mass. Then we flew to Vegas.
Right.
Lived and trained in Vegas. Basically, we were in Las Vegas for a good 3 weeks.
Before the fight.
Before the fight.
So acclimated over there.
Exactly. Acclimation.
To the weather, yeah. And
Everything. Jet lag, everything.
Yeah, everything. So you got the how are you feeling at this point? Because you had hard camp in Louisiana, obviously. Now you're in Vegas. The fight's getting closer. Are you getting anxious? Are you just ready to get the fight over, or ready to get to and do your job and
whatever. I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so now your plan is of attack right off the rip.
Yeah.
Are you talking with this to your team, or they already know, or they already say, Peter?
They know.
They know. Are they telling you?
They know.
Yeah, they know. They're telling you the week of the fight, Peter. They're not telling you feel him out.
Listen.
They're not telling you see what he does.
No, they know me. They know I've been with them.
Yeah. So what to do?
I've been with them.
Vinny kicked you in the ass after the bell rang, and you went out like a bull, right?
No.
I mean, I got to ask you a question, right? I got to ask you this. If you were to do it again, is that your plan?
Yeah, still.
All right. I mean, look, I think, it clarifies it for a lot of boxing people.
Coach, I'd say this to you all the time. There's no ifs, what ifs in life.
Yeah.
That's the way it happened. That's the way it happened.
Right.
Do I wish there was, by Vinny jumping in the ring and stopping the fight, that upset a lot of people. But, I mean, the proof was that Vinny always tried to protect his fighters.
Yes.
And there was proof that he did it for two guys I sparred with. Sparred with Paul, what he did before you. God rest Paul, God rest Vinny and Paul's, but he also did it for Mike Gohan. I sparred countless rounds.
Listen, I think as coaches and fighters, right? As a coach, and obviously you as a fighter, the connection between you and your coach is very unique. If you're with your coach for a long time, which you were, there's caring feeling. When a coach gets up to stop a fight, it's for two reasons. It's definitely he's worried about the outcome, but he's worried about his fighter. He's there to protect his fighter. And fans don't understand that. They're never going to understand that. They all think, oh, the guy stopped the fight. But your coach knew you, right? They knew you.
Yeah.
They knew you.
Yes.
So
correct.
He stopped that fight knowing you.
Now, this is one of Vinny's. He's just a fan, meaning he doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know. So
now, Coach, you're involved in boxing. Firsthand.
No, I know. I get it, Peter. And okay, so after
not everybody gets involved in a boxing. Don't tell me you went and did some boxercise or at a fitness club.
Yeah.
A real boxing with amateurs and pros.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah, working the sport. So after all this happens, right? Obviously the fight's over. What do you say to Vinny after the fight? What's that conversation in the locker room that nobody knows? Is it just like, hey, we gave a good shot. That's the right.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. So you had no regrets on that at all.
I like Jim Gray.
Yeah. The announcer.
The announcer said to him, what are you going to do, Peter? I said, it's right there on worldwide TV.
Yeah, HBO.
Showtime.
Showtime.
Championship boxing.
Yes.
Coming back. I will fight again.
Yeah. Which you did.
Yeah.
A lot.
Enough.
A lot.
Enough.
You know, a lot after that. Do you think that fight changed you?
Mike Tyson was my 38th fight.
Yeah.
And at the end, I had 54.
Yeah.
I wanted more. I wanted to have more.
Yeah.
But, all right, after you lose, my last two, I lost 2 in a row. First, Akawandi.
Tough fighter.
Oh, God.
Tough fighter.
Now, my reach is pretty long.
Yeah.
You know? Mine's tip to tip, I'm 74. His was 86.
Yeah, a tough fighter.
86.
And you fought that one in Africa, right? Cape Town?
Then,
So
it was Cape Town, South Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
On,
In his turf.
well, Akawandi was on 9 days' notice in Tallahassee, Florida. And then Cape Town was 8 days' notice.
Yeah.
I mean, people do not realize, why would you do that? That's what happens at the end of fighters' careers.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Now you're out of the rankings. You're out of the public eye a little bit. But let's get back. Do you think the Tyson fight changed you personally? Did it change how you looked at things, trained? You know, did you become more colorful after the Tyson fight? Let's go there, Peter. Let's go there. Now, obviously it's your best payday, right?
Correct.
That's your best payday, right? So now,
because of my mother, thank God for Mom.
Yeah.
My mom is a financial guru. She, after I just blew money on a lot of
Stupid shit.
Yeah, thank you.
Stupid shit.
She took my money. I own my home in North Andover because of
that.
Mom.
So that's actually a good point to talk about, because a lot of these fighters
don't have anything.
Don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. So at least now,
I love you, Mom.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to your mom.
But
you're right there. I mean, that's big.
Dad's not with us anymore, but I love you, Dad, too.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that people had structured you pretty good. At least they looked out for you there. But I mean, you're out there now at this point. You got to be a popular guy back home. I mean, when you come back home, you're
back then.
You know, we got nightclubs popping off out there. Right? Boston, the North End. You got to be going out, having fun.
Love the North End.
You know, you got to be out having fun.
Love the North End.
And I don't know. I don't know you. I know of you as a fighter and bits of your career, but you hear the colorful stories. Give me a colorful story, Peter. After give me a story that somebody wouldn't know.
Not long, not too long. Say late '95. I had this beautiful girlfriend, and we both started going to this illegal after-hours club in the North End.
Oh my God!
And so we gone there a bunch of times. So one night we were at this one bar on Newbury Street, and the hoi polloi shopping.
Well, not to cut you off real quick. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
You got a fucking hell of a memory, bro. You're giving me streets and everything.
So I mean, this is right down like North End, like right there, where everything is. Because I can't remember that street's name, but that's not the point. So we left the bar that we loved to go to, but we left there a little early that night. But you know what then? A police officer, they recognized me. Towards the guy and says, Peter, get the F out of here. You know, because they were just about to bust the place.
Yeah. So they gave you the heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the one officer did.
Yeah.
Hey, you know?
Yeah. Hey, it's good. It's good. It's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
You know that. But you know, coming out of that area, it's Massachusetts, hometown guy. People are rooting for you. You know, they're you come back from, fighting Mike. You got a couple of dollars in your pocket. You know, your life's changing a little bit, and you don't really get a bigger fight after that, like of that capacity. Do you think?
It was very difficult to, right?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you think? Look, from a selling point and a promotional point, you're an Irish fighter, an Irish heavyweight, with a reach and a punch. You got to be able to sell that. Got to be able to sell that today. Anywhere then. Do you think maybe that was a little, kind of held your career a little bit back?
You know what? Vinny McNeeley did the best he could with what he had with us.
Yeah. Look, you got nothing to snooze at, man. You got 47 friggin' wins as a professional. 36 knockouts. That's nothing at any fighter's level to snooze at. That's a respectable. Like I said, you're 3 wins away from 50 wins as a professional. Mayweather's got 50 plus wins undefeated. As a heavyweight, you got almost that many wins. But you know what? I gotta I just.
You know what? People could talk all they want about Mayweather, but you know what? He did it, and he beat Pacquiao.
Yeah,
he beat him. Nobody can
say. We talk about this about Floyd. Floyd fought everybody they put in front of him.
Exactly. One titles in multiple divisions.
He fought everybody put in front of him. But let's go back now. Now, let's go off of this a little bit with this. You were talking about as a football player, as a fighter, the brain trauma and everything else, and you are going through a little bit of that now.
A little bit?
Yeah, but you know what, Peter? Yeah, okay, a little bit. Come on. Now you're making me become colorful with you. But you know what? Your memory and what you remember of names and fighters and where you were is definitely pretty sharp, considering. Now, you said you didn't like sparring with headgear. You played football.
I hated it.
You were boxing, sometimes twice a month, 3 times a month. Yeah. No rest, no time off.
Loved it.
Yeah, loved it. Would you do it different today?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. And I think that's the difference with people like growing up. And you're a little bit younger than me, but we're similar generations with our families. Yeah. That generation of, look, I put it all out there. You put it all out there.
You have to. To be good at any sport, you have to.
Yeah. No, I respect that. I really do. What do you think we could do better in boxing right now for our fighters? Because you're not the only one, and even football players are going through situations. What do you think boxing can do better to protect fighters after their careers?
Hey, I'm not sorry.
I know you're not sorry.
Hey, I chose boxing.
Yeah, I know.
No, in a manner of speaking, boxing chose me through my father, my grandfather.
You were tapped on the shoulder and led to the direction, and you chose it. I get it. But you know what? If you don't have a guy like Vinny in your corner,
Luckiest guy ever.
Okay,
I was the luckiest.
And I don't know him, and I'm just going by you and whatever.
He said to me, Peter, we're gonna do this. This was early, like after first. We're gonna do this as quickly and as easily as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, not, and it's no big secret. Many of those wins were against lesser opposition.
But that's how you're building your experience as a fighter.
Exactly.
You're not the only one.
It's not.
You're not the only one that did that.
It's not. I'm not the first rodeo.
Yes, exactly. But let's get back to this.
They've been doing it since back in Joe Louis.
Yeah, we get you 10
the
fights.
Bum of the Month Club.
Yeah, we get you 10 fights, and you're 10, 15-0 before you know it. But on the serious level of this, look, if you're talking to fighters today, with your experience, where you've been, and who you are, you're gonna put it out there.
All right.
Talk to me about
Facebook and TikTok. All right, I'm on Facebook and TikTok,
yes.
and people ask me that question a lot, and I say, hands up, chin down, and train hard, no matter what sport you do.
Right.
Train hard.
Well, obviously you trained hard. There's no There's no question about your DNA as a fighter, as a person.
Can't not.
I could. If you're training people today,
don't drink alcohol, don't drug.
Till after the fight.
No, at all ever.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
I think today, a day at a time.
You're what? 30?
70 years.
7 years.
Halloween,
God bless you.
Halloween, 7 years.
God bless you.
A day at a time.
God bless you.
No alcohol, no beer, and nothing with alcohol at all, ever. A day at a time.
Yeah.
My father took me to my first AA meeting way back in summer of 1987. Then we went to meetings together.
Yeah.
But and you know what? I struggled with it till 7 years ago. Finally, with my wife, who, God rest her soul, is not with us anymore.
Yeah.
But we started together 7 years ago this past Halloween.
Awesome. I mean, look, you're definitely...
Now, but as colorful as I can and want to be, this is serious.
Yes.
As much as many people nationwide, they drink. Yay! They drink hard more.
Yeah.
But even to my wife's death, no alcohol, no drugs.
You stayed strong.
You gotta.
But see, that's already in you because of the way you trained. You
gotta have heart.
You trained hard.
You gotta have heart, but the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, different generation today for what you're saying. But you're definitely somebody who brings a lot to the table, not only to fighters, but to people for what you've been through, because you're real. You keep it real. You put it right out there. You're not sugarcoating it. You know what I mean?
Why should I?
I love that. I totally love that. You're a person who walked the walk. No bullshit. Up, down, sideways, your career, all different points. What besides the training factor today, and that's your DNA, what would your advice be to a young fighter today? Besides train hard. Besides that.
Don't drink alcohol. Don't do drugs. I mean, all right, let's be even more honest. You buy drugs off the street today, you're fooling with your life. Everything is, buy drugs on the street, it's all fentanyl.
Yeah.
It's all fentanyl. And people don't know, fentanyl is used to tranquilize an injured horse. In other words, it's not meant for humans. Horses, I worked with horses.
Yeah.
Horses are big, beautiful, powerful animals. But again, not meant for humans.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, you're putting a good message out there. People can respect what you got to say because of, you went through it. We kind of finish up a couple of ways here on Coach's Corner. I kind of pop off a couple of quick questions to you.
Pop them off, baby.
All right. First one, if you were going to be in a foxhole, who would you be in with? Who's the person you're bringing with you?
My father, Vinny McNeeley.
I love that. Your man knows his answers right way. 3 dinner guests. You get 3 dinner guests. Dead, alive, I don't care who they are. Who you bringing to dinner with you? You want to sit there, have dinner, and talk to them.
Jim Morrison.
From the Doors. Oh, man, I like that one.
Gotta love the King, Elvis Presley.
Yep.
And my wife.
I love that, man. That's beautiful. Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you coming down here. I hope you stay in touch.
Thank you, Coach.
I think we can do some good stuff. I'd love to have you up at the gym sometime, talk to the kids, meet some of the fighters.
Love
you know what I mean? But we appreciate everybody here for subscribing to Coach's Corner. Peter the Hurricane McNeeley. Great show today, champ. Put it right there.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Again, thank you.
Shout out to some of our sponsors, Nirvana Water, my guys from Get Elevated Apparel, my man Dan for the shirt and the hat.
Go in Ted's Boxing Club, Lawrence, Mass. Franklin Street, Lawrence, Mass.
All right. We'll catch you guys again on Coach's Corner.
Thank you all.